A former Russian officer tells the BBC he witnessed Russian soldiers humiliating and shooting Ukrainian prisoners of war.
The Ukrainian had a blindfold on. The colonel put a pistol to the prisoner's forehead and said, "I'm going to count to 3 and then shoot you in the head."
Meanwhile, President Putin uses the 80th anniversary of the Soviet victory over the Nazis in Stalingrad to insist that Russia will win the war in Ukraine.
Officials are gathering in Kyiv for the first EU-Ukraine summit since Russia invaded almost a year ago. President Volodymyr Zelensky is hoping to secure further support for his country's efforts to repel Russian forces. But officials from multiple countries are warning that Ukraine's hopes of a fast track to EU membership are likely to be rebuffed. It has been almost 1 year since the invasion of Ukraine. And for much of that time, the country's energy grid has been the key focus of Russia's attacks.
Keeping the power supply going is a massive challenge, but Paul Adams has met the people who work day and night doing exactly that.
Ukraine's energy war. A constant battle for heat and light. A race to keep up with Russian attacks. For a week, we follow the teams fighting this war. What the missiles destroy, they rebuild. In places where people are living on the edge. For months, Russian missiles and drones have rained down on Ukraine's civilian infrastructure, causing untold damage all across this vast country. So, what happened here? This power plant in central Ukraine has been hit repeatedly. It's a huge place, but this is what well-aimed Russian missiles have done to its transformers, vital links to the world outside. For security reasons, we've been asked not to identify the plant or its manager.
These.
Everywhere across here.
Every time the equipment is damaged, it gets all of us right here, in our soul, because it's our life, it's our second family.
Millions of people depend on this coal-fired power station, built in the Soviet era. Fantastic machine! Its great turbines churning away at the heart of Ukraine's sprawling power grid. But the staff here know they're in Russia's sights. So there's the siren. We have been expecting it this morning. We have to get out of the turbine hall and head straight for the shelter. On days like these, hours are spent underground. Anxious moments as news comes in of a fresh wave of attacks. Their colleagues at a power station in the west have taken a direct hit. They know this could have been them. And closer to home, word is spreading of something much worse. Across town, a tragedy is unfolding. A missile, almost certainly aimed at the power station, has struck an apartment building instead. The rescue effort is frantic. 46 people have died here. We travel south towards communities under fire, Ukraine's army of engineers racing from one repair job to the next. This happens all the time, Vladimir tells me. We're on our way to a village shelled just last night. The power lines are down again. The repairs won't take long, but the men know they'll be back.
This is pure terror, terrorizing the population, causing maximum damage to the infrastructure. This is a tactic of the Russians on the other side of the reservoir.
In the village, the sound of artillery has the mayor ducking for cover. How long do you think you can carry on living here in this situation?
Those who wanted to leave left already. Those who can't leave stay. As long as we have even a bit of electricity and water, we'll carry on living.
Russia thought it would break Ukraine, but this energy war isn't working. Half the grid may be in tatters, but in helmets and body armor, these men are keeping it alive. Paul Adams, BBC News, Eastern Ukraine.